ALF was one of the most unique sitcoms to ever air on television. Instead of following the usual suburban family formula, it gave us something a little bit different, a cultural clash between a stranded alien and an average American household. That setup opened the door to fresh ideas and unpredictable moments and the kind of excitement that you didn't really get from sitcoms in that era. You never knew what ALF was going to say or do next, and that unpredictability kept the show electric. Trying to hide a sarcastic alien while maintaining any sense of normal life, that premise alone was genius. And somehow, even with all that absurdity, it stayed grounded, it had heart, and it still felt relatable. So how does a show like that only last 4 seasons? Well, that's what we're diving into today, because I believe that just one change made at the right time could have saved ALF from an early cancellation. See, when ALF premiered in 1986, it was a hit right out of the gate. The concept was risky, but it worked, and the numbers backed it up, pulling in over 21 million viewers and cracking the top 10 in Nielsen ratings during its debut season. Instantly becoming part of the cultural fabric of the late 80s, kids carried ALF lunchboxes and wore ALF pajamas. He had 2 animated series, appeared in commercials, graced magazine covers, made talk show rounds as if he was a real celebrity. ALF was a full-blown franchise at this point, meaning NBC had found another primetime giant. By season 3, ratings started slipping, and by season 4, ALF had fallen out of the top 30 completely. NBC quietly and abruptly canceled it in 1990, leaving all of us fans with one of the most infamous cliffhangers in sitcom history.
Wait! Don't leave me! Hey, right where you are. Oh. Hey, guys. You want to grab a brewski?
Behind the scenes, production was grueling. Puppeteering ALF required a trapdoor set, often requiring a 20 to 25 hour shoot for one single episode, making this one of the most physically demanding shows on air at the time. The cast and crew described it as slow, sweaty, and exhausting. But the real issue was that the show began to stall creatively. By seasons 3 and 4, the show leaned heavily on repetitive filler-style episodes that recycled old plot points without pushing the characters or the world forward in any meaningful way. The show that was once unpredictable and exciting started to feel like it was running in place. Which leads me into the biggest downfall of this show, which was that it rarely left the living room. Almost every episode took place inside the Tanner residence. Yes, you had one-off episodes where ALF would leave into the woods, steal a car, or sneak into luggage to go along on a vacation, but ultimately he would always end up back in the Tanner house. And while that might have worked for a while, it eventually became a creative dead end. I mean, how many different storylines can you run with a stranded alien stuck in a house like a dog before it starts to feel like deja vu? By locking ALF inside the home for nearly the entire series, the writers really pinned themselves into a corner, and they were limited in what kind of stories they could tell. You really get a glimpse of this untapped potential in the 2-part Christmas episode from season 2. It's one of the few times ALF is out on his own, away from the Tanner house, interacting with strangers, making new connections, and experiencing the world beyond the living room. It's heartfelt, funny, and surprisingly profound. And to me, it stands as one of the best episodes of the entire series, not just because it's well written, but because it shows what ALF could have been if it wasn't stuck in the same formula. But remember how I said they pinned themselves in a corner? Well, there was only one way out of that corner, and the writers waited way too long to pull that trigger. Seasons 1 and 2 were peak ALF, no question. But once season 3 started showing signs of decline, that should have been the moment to pivot, for the writers to really take a huge swing and shake it up. That swing should have been ALF being caught by the alien task force in the finale of season 3 instead of season 4. And you might be asking, why would that change anything? But trust me, it would have changed everything. People were getting burnt out on the old formula, and this would have breathed a whole new life into the series immediately. Imagine season 4 picking up with a new status quo. ALF stuck in a government facility trying to escape or even adapting to life under surveillance. Maybe we get to see what the government really knows about aliens. Maybe he discovers he's not the only alien in captivity. Maybe the Tanners are secretly plotting to break him out. All of a sudden, the show has all of these endless possibilities, and it's not just about hiding an alien in the garage. It's about fighting to protect him in a much bigger world against much bigger threats. That single change could have injected the show with a fresh energy, new environments, new stakes, and finally freed the writers from the restrictive formula that had boxed them in. I'll confidently say, with that new angle, ALF could have easily gone another 3 or 4 seasons because the concept itself was gold. It just needed room to evolve. And that's just how I see it.